New York is in a precarious position where a little push could mean a total wipeout of the middle-class family. It'll be just the super wealthy and super poor left if this happens. With rent at prices never imagined, transportation almost impossible to keep up with, mountain-high trash defacing the city, and food being so expensive, let's see how the government is chasing middle-class families away from New York. There's more to it than you think. Stick around to the end of the video to find out. According to USA Today, living in New York translates to spending 37% more than the state average and 78% more than the national average. This is a significant difference and has greatly affected the lifestyle of thousands. To gain some relief, more than 545,000 residents left New York over the past couple of years in places where inflation and cost of living are reasonable. Looking at a major factor working against the middle class, the housing crisis has made it really hard to make significant progress. New York is a populated area with a growing demand for housing. With high demand and limited supply leading to a housing shortage, the prices of those available have become crazy. The rise of short-term rental services like Airbnb has made it more profitable for landlords to convert long-term rentals into short-term vacation rentals, reducing the supply of long-term housing and driving up rent. It is a matter of great concern that there is no state, metropolitan area, or county in the U.S. where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford a modest two-bedroom rental home. It's difficult, too, for them to afford even one-bedroom apartments in 91% of U.S. counties. For one to be able to afford a two-bedroom rental, that person would need to work the state minimum wage of $13.20 an hour for 114 hours a week or 99 hours per week to afford a one-bedroom rental. Do you see a problem here? Well, if you want to avoid these, just get a job working full-time with an hourly wage of $45 and you'll be able to afford a two-bedroom apartment in no time. It's not all that expensive, you know, with the median home price around $370,000 elsewhere and $578,000 in the Big Apple. Not much of a difference. Totally doable. A survey from HomeBay revealed that quality of life was the most popular reason for people leaving New York. They're able to afford bigger homes for less and pay lesser fees for necessities, quality that was hard to attain in New York. For a person to live moderately, they'd need to earn about $4,300, and for a family of four, they'd need to double down on that amount and a few pennies more, around $9,600 a month. The question is just how many people earn close to this amount to be able to live well? Not enough. This is why it's especially hard on middle-class families. According to the United States Census Bureau, middle class is defined as those earning between two-thirds and twice the median American household income, which in 2021 was $70,784. That means American households earning between $47,000 to $140,000 are in the middle class. Remember, the government having a share in pushing the middle class out of New York. How do you think it does this? The government has reduced and is still reducing public funding. This is affecting those who seriously need these services and causing life to be harder. And you guessed right. These cuts happen the most in the poor areas. A place disturbed by high crime rates and in need of more policemen is marked for a withdrawal of available policemen. What would become of such a place? Who would want to continue living in places where they don't feel secure? It's like a subtle way for the government to let the people know they're neither needed nor important. The government is also busy reducing what they spend on removing the trash from our streets. Guess the areas where you'd see the most trash. You're right again. Areas where you have the middle class staying. The streets are an eyesore. Dirty. Trash bags piled up and waiting for collection, which is no longer as frequent. Of course, the government doesn't joke about keeping up with the shiny parts of New York. Gotta keep the place neat to encourage tourists and foreigners and ensure a steady payment of taxes. Sorry, middle class, the government is interested in pleasing those bringing it more revenue, not you. They're cutting spending on education too. The libraries aren't going to be open on Sundays anymore. Students from the middle class who escape the noise and find a quiet place to study now have their reading time reduced. Lunches served in public schools are no longer of high quality. Public places like the park have low maintenance and the conveniences aren't well kept. The area of transportation is an added factor, making it hard for the middle class to continue staying in New York. For those who didn't want to leave New York and at the same time not drown in bills, they found an alternative that worked for a while until recently. They looked for houses far from the city as they were significantly less expensive than those in the city, so they opted to commute to and from work. This way, they could keep their jobs in the city and manage a decent life. Now, the introduction of congestion pricing is making it hard and unwise to continue with. The government introduced congestion pricing as a way to discourage the use of vehicles in busy areas, make the air cleaner, encourage the use of the subway, subway and raise money for the state. This development has taken a toll on the average citizen. It continues to seem like the government is out to get them. Parking fees are wreaking havoc on one hand, car insurance rates are also among the highest in the country, and now you've got to pay to drive your car. Enjoying this video? Please subscribe. Back to the topic, owners of cabs aren't free either. They pay congestion fees as well, which means cab fare just went up too. The option of a subway sounds like the solution to the transport problem, doesn't it? Well, not so much. Despite the extensive public system of New York, it doesn't solve the problems of the people. For one, the costs of public transportation can add up pretty quickly. A single subway or bus ride costs $275 US, and a monthly unlimited Metro card costs $127. For many residents, this represents a significant portion of their monthly budget. Also, the subway isn't as effective as before. You have errors happening because of outdated technology, and the fear for one's safety due to a shortage of security men is increased. When the middle class can't afford to drive their car and are scared of using the subway, it won't be long before more families pack and leave. According to data from the Pew Research Center, the middle class has been shrinking in the last 5 decades, hovering around 50%, and a large percentage of this figure are people whose home is New York. It isn't that they migrated from a different country. No, New York was once home to them, where they could afford the basics and reach for the stars. But like a sneak attack, it all stopped being homely. What was once affordable no longer is. The income inequality in New York is a huge problem for the middle class, as it contributes to the high cost of living for many. The gap between the rich and poor is so high, and it continues to widen. It has been a real challenge for the middle class to keep up with the high cost of living. The rich don't feel it, and they can carry on with their lives like nothing is happening to the economy, making the poor look like they don't have a reason to complain. The wealthy usually see their salary increase by 20% periodically, and this is mostly enough to keep up with inflation. For the middle class, it's not the same. Salary increment is meager and insignificant. The irony of the two situations is how the people working long hours and with multiple jobs earn lower than those working fewer hours. The first group works so hard yet struggles to make ends meet. They don't live like people should, can't have meaningful goals. Hardly will be a time when they do what they really want, like go on a vacation, start a business, or own a home. Survival comes first, and many are forced to choose between paying for basic expenses in a list of essentials. It'll be a contemplation like this. Should I pay for a health checkup or pay the rent? Should I skip a credit debt repayment to save on this? One shouldn't live like this, and on the street you see plenty of sad, angry, and frustrated people. A survey from Purdue University and Go Banking Rates found that you need a minimum annual salary of $170,500 to be happy in New York. Where are the middle class going to get that from? It's one of the worst times to be middle class in New York. The system is set to work against you if nothing is done to fix the problems of housing, transportation, income, and government spending. It won't be a long time from now when we look around and not find the middle class because they've chosen to live and with that left New York.